What's up, guys? Clay Dragon 29 back with you after a bit of an absence, just work and stuff. But yeah, my DevPro decided to just crash on me and won't restore, so I've gone back to my roots, back to a Dueling Network, and coming at you here with a deck that I've been using over the last few months, which I've really enjoyed. It's a bit annoying after we found out, of course, sadly, that all the baby dragon rulers had been banned. Many people now have switched around to different variants of the Dragon Ruler deck, and I've decided to go with this variant, which is just assault mode Dragon Ruler. I find that it runs very well. I've been taking a lot of top tier opponents, and it holds its own against pretty much everything. I mean, of course, Evil Swarm's going to shut it down unless you can go with a blaster effect from your hand, but even that's really tough because I'll have that spell card, which is should be limited for the love of God. And just other decks, like, if someone uses a Blader or something, then I'm basically shut down. But anyway, I'll take you through the decks. The main thing that you'll be aware of, we've got the four elemental dragons. You've got Blaster, Redox, Tempest, Turtle. Now, I'm sure you would all know by now that their effects are basically all the same. It's all focused on, banishing dragons and special summon to the field, and if they are banished, then you get to add, a dragon of their attribute to their hand. And that's where this assault mode deck actually is really handy because it's quite easy to bring out like a Stardust Dragon with this deck. So I'll just take you through each card, and then we'll just so Flambeau Guard is basically in here, one, because he's an easy target for blasters, any of Blaster's effects, and also because he's a level 1 tuner, which is exactly what I need to put with one of my Dragon Rulers to get out Stardust. So anytime I banish Blaster, he's normally what I'm going to try and hit into my hand, depending on what I've got. Now there's Assault Beast. Basically, he's my assault engine. If I need an assault mode card, I'll send him to the grave. Some people have said that you can run Fire Formation Tenki to bring him to your hand, but I feel it's a waste of a card. I mean, really, it's only fodder if you have a Scrap Dragon coming out every time, and I just find that it slows the deck down, so I just run 3 Assault Beasts and 3 Assault Mode Activates, and that works fine, and I get Assault Mode Stardust that way. So Blaster, for obvious reasons, he's in the deck, and he's got a handy other effect where you can discard him and another fire monster from your hand to destroy one card your opponent controls, so that can be handy as well if there's a tricky monster out there on the field you need to get rid of, like just anything strong, I suppose. And it also means it dodges skill drain because it's happening in your hand, so you can destroy a skill drain from your hand with Blaster and then go into your special summons, which can be nifty. Then we got Brandy Stock. Basically, Brandy Stock and Corsica, I wouldn't care less about their effects. I just focus on the fact that they're both level 1 tuners that are also perfect targets for not only Tempest, but also Dragon Ravine, which I'll explain a bit later on. But yeah, so they are both level 1 wind tuners, and they are basically the heroes of this deck. Not really as much Flambeau Guard, these guys that I can bring to my hand basically every time I want, and they become handy. Red Eyes, I didn't actually have him in the initial build, but then when I added in DDR, I realized that I could bring a monster back from my remove from play in like a turn after I banish it again to bring out Red Eyes, and then I get a free monster to my hand anyway, and a free special summon. So, I couldn't resist, adding him in. And also, another nifty thing is you can actually summon out one of your little tuners, and if you feel like you need a Big Eye or a Dracosac, then you can just banish that tuner to bring out the Red Eyes, and then bring back maybe another of the Dragon Balls that's in your grave that can't activate its effect. So that's also a really nice combo. And also, 2,800 attack, can't resist with that. And also, there's other ways of bringing him out, like you go into Dracosac, tribute to a Dracosac's tokens, there's your Red Eyes. So, a lot of different avenues to take. Then there's a Redox. His effect is basically you can discard himself and an Earth monster as a one card back from your graveyard. That can be really handy if you've maybe got a starter sitting in your grave and you don't have the cards maybe to bring him out, but you can bring back that starter from your grave, then go into Assault Mode Activate. So there's a few different avenues to take. So this is basically the main card of the deck, Stardust Dragon Assault Mode. Basically, his effect is that you contribute him to negate activation of Spell Trap or Effect Monster effect and destroy it, and then in the end phase he basically comes back. So really nifty card, just tribute, and basically negates anything. However, just so you know, he cannot negate a card that's activated in damage step. So if someone decides to Lance, Honest, or maybe use Kalut the Moonshadow on you, there's nothing you can do about that. Assault mode's destroyed. But if someone uses like a Veiler on your Assault mode, you can activate Assault mode's effect first, tribute it to stop Veiler from negating its effect, so that he can come back next turn. And also 3000 attack, that's awesome. And the only way really he can be destroyed is either through the damage step or actually by battle itself. And when he's destroyed by battle, you get a Stardust back for free. So it's pretty handy. Let me go to Tempest. His effect is that you can send him and a wind type monster from your hand to the graveyard to add a dragon type monster to your hand. So that can be really handy. It's almost like a second Ravine. That's what's so good about Tempest, and since I've got Corsica and Brandy Stock coming into my hand so often, or another Tempest, or if I dead draw a Stardust Assault mode, it's just a really easy way of dumping them to my grave, so I don't have to worry about them, and then just bringing out another monster that I can use. So Tempest is probably my favourite Dragon Ruler, because he's just got a myriad of effects that just work so well with the deck. And then the final Dragon Ruler is Tidal. So Tidal's effect is that it can send itself and another water monster to the graveyard to send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. So it's like the opposite effect of, it's similar to Tempest, only it's a bit harder to do because there aren't any level 1 Dragon Water tuners. I mean, if there was, I would add them in a heartbeat. I'd probably have 2 of each, but there's no level 1 Dragon tuners that are Earth for Redox, and there's none that I can hit for Tidal. So those guys are basically just fodder for setting up for basically Blaster and Tempest, because they're my big hitters when it comes to bringing out Assault mode. But Tidal and Redox are more for setting up for Big Eye or Dracosac. But yeah, really handy again. DDR, really good card in this deck because I can dump just any random card in my hand and I can get back one of my Dragon Rulers and just then set up for Stardust, or, as I said with Red Eyes, rebanish it, and it's just really handy. And then also, the card stays on the field even if the monster's used for a Synchro Summon. So if that happens, it means that I can bring out Scrap Dragon later in the duel, and then I've got fodder in DDR to just get rid of a card my opponent controls for a free pop, which is just awesome. Dark Hole doesn't need much explaining. I think we're all aware of what it does. Dragon Ravine. This is an amazing card for Dragon Rulers because it basically sets up your grave for a first turn Stardust Dragon. Because all you need is just to discard one card from your hand. Really, if you have any Dragon Ruler in your hand, you just discard that Dragon Ruler, and then you can send one monster from your deck to the grave. I mean, you can add also one level 4 lower Dragoonity. I've never really had to do that though with Corsica or Brandy Stock, because I find that I'll just use Tempest effect anyway, and I'll just grab them. So you start with like a Tidal in your hand, you can discard Tidal, discard Tempest, and all you need is one more Dragon in your hand, and you can just bring out Stardust. It's an amazing card, and it's really handy. And it's just free dragons, really. It just stockpiles your grave as well each turn. Gold Sark, down to 1, but still basically needed in this deck. Just sets up another Dragon Ruler in your hand, which is always handy. Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars basically explains itself, I suppose. Just you need to have that as well, just for draw power. It can be really handy. Also, it's an awesome effect if you're using DDR to bring back a monster. You banish that monster face up, you get 2 draws and another monster, and it's all for free, basically. You only lose 1 card from your hand, it could just be fodder. Then there's Assault Mode Activate. Basically, that's just going to bring out your Assault Mode. Really handy. Return from the Different Dimension is an amazing card late game. I have used it after about 3 or 4 turns and just swept my opponent away. You can either go into like massive Big Eye Dracosac plays, or you can just go into tons of Synchros. I think I went Stardust, Scrap Dragon, and Crimson Blader, and basically just OTK'd him there. So that's really cool. So the 2 XZs are Big Eye and Dracosac, just standard. Then I go into Synchros. I got 1 Thought Ruler, just because I can. 3 Stardusts, 2 Scrap Dragons, a jeweled Red Dragon Archfiend because its effect is awesome, 2 Crimson Bladers, a Colossal Fighter, and Ancient Sacred Wyvern. So yeah, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and just give me advice on what other decks I should try. I'm going to send out a video hopefully soon that will be me actually dueling with this deck on DN and just talking to you about some of the combos. Alright, this is Clay Dragon 29, signing out.